Welcome back to another episode of Straight Facts. I'm joined by Lee Gunner. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, man. I'm real good, mate. How are you?
Mate, I cannot complain. I've got the proper camera set back up in here now, so I'm very happy with the new camera setup. It broke. I had to get it fixed, and I'm just one of them people that I'll put something on the side of my desk when it's broke, and I'll get it fixed soon. And 2 months can go by, and it's still sitting there getting dust. So, yeah, happy days my end. Excited about the show today. Lots of great things to talk about, viewers. Hope you're all doing good, by the way, everyone tuning in. We're going to be looking at Harvey Elliott and he's mocking of Greenwood and just having a chat about Harvey Elliott in general because he's a supreme talent. But is his approach to life going to impact and damage his career? We're going to take an in-depth look at Marcus Rashford to Arsenal. Would he improve the Arsenal? Would he be a good signing? Me and Lee are going to have one of our heated debates on that today. And then we're going to be delving into, how do I say this? We're going to be delving into an interesting tweet or an interesting series of tweets. The tweetee is going, the tweeter, is that what it is? Tweeter is going to be on the show with us later talking about why he kind of believes that Arsenal are actually better than Chelsea based on the league table starts after the first 3 games of this season. He wanted to come, we tweeted about this earlier, and he said to me that he wanted to come on and kind of break it down and give us his thoughts. So he'll be joining us on the show a little bit later to have his say. I want to say big shout, Billy T, long time no see. Was one of my members for a while. He's been gone for a bit. I hope you're well, my friend. You know, you see like people that were on your channel like daily for years and then you ain't seen them. And it's like, I just hope you're good. Hope you're good, Billy. Hope you're well, my friend. Hope things are all good your end. Terry, Harvey isn't Mason Greenwood. Right. I didn't say was, and we're gonna delve into that again. I knew that somebody would put that in there straight away, but I want to speak about Harvey Elliott to start with, mate, because look, he is a supreme talent, as I've already mentioned. That there is no getting away from that. He's quality. The speed of which he's recovered from a broken or dislocated ankle back in the Liverpool team, and he looks the part. When he plays for Liverpool, you can see that talent. The eye test is there. But I do worry. I really do worry about him because it's another social media post, either by him or someone connected to him, that just kind of drags him through the mire. And there's a picture out here of a girl on Twitter. I don't know who she is, and that's really not my interest. But a Man United fan commented and said, no way Elliott has more girls in 2022 than Premier League goals. So a little bit of a, I think that's obviously banter between kids these days. That's probably what it is. But he responds by saying that the same girl since last year, United fans are all the same. No clue about anything. However, I do know how to treat them right, unlike some. So focus on your own ting, my G. And look, it's mocking the Mason Greenwood situation. And I understand that for some people, a joke is a joke. I just kind of look at it and think, with his history of, his mother's group chat messages being very racist. There was times where screenshots of him like really having a go at his girlfriend at the time for following his teammates on Instagram, like just some toxic behavior. And sometimes some real just kind of like stupid adolescent nonsense that he just doesn't need to attach to his name. And I bring this up because I think he's so talented. I think he's such a good football player. And by the way, he hasn't spoken a word of a lie in there. Like, by all accounts, well, he said he doesn't know how to treat women. There are things of him telling a woman not to follow other men, which is a little bit toxic in itself. But do you think it's right that a Premier League footballer at Liverpool Football Club is kind of putting all this stuff out on social media?
Mate, this just smacks of another young kid that's getting too much too soon. That's all it smacks of. Terry, I've had this conversation with you before, right? How old's the boy? 19? Something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Right? He's playing for Liverpool first team. Yeah, he's probably walking around with...
he's 18. He's going to turn 19 in a few days. Yeah, he's 18, 19.
Well,
yeah.
There you go. Right? And he's probably walking around thinking his shit don't stink. Let's be real. Oh, I play for Liverpool, mate. One of the best teams in Europe. and I'm one of the best young up and coming talents in the country, he's probably on what, 30 grand a week, 20 grand, whatever he's on, he's earning dough. He's probably got £1 million mansion. He's probably driving the nicest car. Yeah, he's got girls on his case all the time. And it's a bubble of delusion these footballers live in sometimes. And unless you've got the right people around you in your friendship group or the right family around you, which we've already seen he ain't, and then you've got the right staff around you at the football club, you can go off the rails real quick, mate. We have seen a lot of footballers of that age or similar age go off the rails when they're going to be the next best talent in this country. Yeah, and that guy, listen, whilst it's banter and it's all hilarious what he wrote, yeah, the fact and reality is, yeah, that guy could go off the rails real quick unless he's got a good friendship group around him. And most of these footballers don't have a good friendship group around them. They have leeches around them. They go, oh, yeah, that was really good, mate. Oh, yeah, that was really good. Because they want to stay part of the, oh, yeah, I'll buy that for you, mate. I'll buy that. Oh, yeah, don't worry. Come to the club with us tonight. I've got everything covered. Yeah, there's a lot of leeches in this football, yeah? And especially when, like, Ravel Morrison, that guy was so talented, totally ruined his career. Yeah, for doing some stupid things. And we've seen others. Greenwood's another one. You know, there's so many young footballers. And this is what I've said something before. And like, I don't, like, when I've said this, people kind of agreed, but it needs tweaking. I just threw this out there. Maybe I did it on this show. That if you're a young player coming through a football team, right, you should only get like 10% of your wages and the rest should be put in a trust until you're like 30 or something. Yeah, I know that can't probably legally be done because at 18 you're an adult and it's your money, but it would slow these players down, some of them. You know, if you've got, let's say you're getting given, right, let's say, I don't know, bukayo Saka, for example. The guy looks like he's grounded. You never see him doing anything stupid. You don't see him doing that on social media. You don't see him getting into altercations with people. You don't see him doing anything. The guy's probably on 100 grand a week. Right, he's just 20 years old. A 20-year-old does not need 100 grand a week, Terry. Yeah, it's nice to have 100 grand a week. I think we'd all like that. Yeah, some of them, like Saka, have obviously got a very good family friendship group and club support around them. Other players don't have that, and that's why I think that something needs to be done. Because, you know, yes, it's great that these footballers can earn fantastic money, and yes, it's a short career for some. It's shorter than others because of injuries and stuff like this. But that boy is going to fall off the wagon, mate. I can already see it. Yeah, and Jack Grealish was very close to doing that. Yeah, when he went to Tenerife, and do you remember the picture of him on the floor? Yeah, and smashing up cars. Then he done it again last year or the year before. But now he's got a manager that ain't going to tolerate any of this rubbish. Yeah, and Jack Grealish, since he's gone to Man City, I ain't seen no drama from that boy. Yeah, and that's because he's got a manager, a club that have grabbed him and said, yo, calm the F down, mate. Yeah, and you need that around you. If you want to go far in the game, you're a talented guy. We've invested a lot of money into you. The club needs to do more. The club 100 needs to do more. Somebody says Saka's on 30 grand a week. That was before he signed the last contract. Yeah, I think he's on 100 now.
And do you know what? I think your point about deferring some of the money is key. In the sense of, one, leeches can't steal it. Two, I think it will reduce the risk of high-level gambling issues creeping in, because the reason that a lot of when you listen to, even going back to the days of the Mersons of this world, and again, these guys were earning 10 grand a week which doesn't sound a lot in modern day terms, but it was in the 90s because of the inflation. But these guys were spending all their money on nonsense or doing crazy things because they knew the following week they had another big lump sum coming their way. So it encouraged that behavior. So I think it will deter from gambling. I think it will get leeches away from them. It protects them. They come into those lump sums when they're older and more mature. And of course, some players can come through those younger years. You know, Jack Grealish is a probably good example of someone who had, there was a view that he may go off the rails when he was younger, and he kind of, you know, and I actually think him falling out of the Premier League and the limelight of the Premier League kind of helped him in many ways. And listen, what he put out there today, I sort of think on a real level, I'm like, that's actually like it's a comeback to someone. I get why people will find it funny. I also feel like you represent Liverpool Football Club. Put all banter aside, they are a English, British, whatever you want to call them, dynasty. They are one of the most respected sports brands in their own right, one of the biggest clubs or sports teams ever to walk this planet, and you're representing them. And I think you need to do it as best you can with dignity and with honor. And so many things keep coming out. You know, there was the calling Harry Kane a mong, and I'm using his expressions here, or like sort of going, whatever it was he was doing on camera. You know, be careful who you hang around with, because I think it was his ex-girlfriend that twice she shared his mother's messages that were racist. She was the one who listen, he wasn't messaging her in a very nice way. She outed him on that. And it's almost a case of, why are you sharing those things with someone you're with? That's what strikes me as strange. Are you with that person for the right reasons? I'm not saying that you should be protecting someone's bad behaviors, but you stayed with him as his boyfriend afterwards. It's almost like, why don't you take that to Jurgen Klopp? Maybe not directly, but to Liverpool, and say, look, this is going on in Harvey's life. Can we find out a way of helping him and making it better? Instead, you share it on social media for attention. You don't need people like that in your life. Like, you know, if someone young around me done some madness things, I try and help them. My first reaction wouldn't be, let's stick this on the internet and make it get traction. Do you get where I'm coming from? It's almost, you need good people around you. And I say, look, listen, I'm not a Liverpool fan. I have no vested interest in him other than the fact that he's English. And if he fulfills his full potential, he could be a massive asset for England football team. I do care about that and how it goes. Plus, you know, he's a working class lad, and I want to see working class people do well. And you great example of Ravel Morrison, someone who just couldn't be helped at the right age, and he might be happy and content with where he is now, and maybe he never had the ambition deep down inside to fulfill his entire potential. Maybe he's happy being where it is now that he is. But I look at
sorry to cut you off, Terry. Who was the lad that was at Man City? Was it Michael Johnson?
Yeah,
remember him? He went from being the next up and coming superstar. He couldn't handle the pressure with all the fame and the money. And then I remember a picture of him in a McDonald's, and he was 4 times bigger than he was when he was a footballer for Man City. And that's because he didn't have good friends around him. He didn't have good family around him, and they just let him go off the wagon and let him do what he wanted. And he totally ruined his football career.
Yeah.
And the guy was so talented.
No,
and this is the same with this lad. I don't know the boy. I don't know nothing about him. Yeah, like, I'm not a Liverpool fan. Yeah, I couldn't care less what England do. Yeah, I really don't care. I don't. Yeah, it's boring. Yeah, it's boring watching England. I don't watch England unless it's a Euros or a World Cup, mate. And even then, it's boring. Yeah, but unless you've got good people that are going to help and support you, and this is where football needs to do more. It really does. The amount of money in football is obscene, mate. It really is. Right? It really, really is. Yeah. And unless there's something in place to maybe not cap wages, because you can't do that. Yeah. You can't cap wages, right? Because of, I can't remember the exact terminology of it, but they're saying that, where you can't cap wages to do with the Supreme Court or something. I read it a couple of months ago. So you can't stop somebody earning money. What you should be able to do is stop them having all of that money in their bank account, because when I'll give an example, right? You do YouTube for a living. I do YouTube for a living. Yeah. When you've got your biggest pay for YouTube ever, I bet you were like, oh my God, like, right. Yeah. Just, I'll buy that. I'll buy that. I'll buy that. I'll buy that. Well, you wouldn't necessarily normally do that if it was a quarter of that money, would you?
Yeah.
Right. And oh yeah, don't worry. I'll pay for dinner tonight. And you're taking all your mates out. Yeah. This is what footballers are doing, but they're doing it on a level that is in a stratosphere clear of what we're earning.
Brother,
yeah? That then brings leeches, because you're going to the poshest restaurants, the most expensive restaurants. We're not doing that. We're doing it on a lesser scale. So then you get people that want to get in with your friendship group. Women want to be involved. And all of a sudden, it's very, 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 very easily to get caught up in that bubble and fall straight off a cliff.
Brother, do you know what's funny, right? When I worked in the bank, I was very lucky to work myself into a position in the private bank where I was dealing with, internally they were referred to as ultra net worth clients. So people that had huge wealth, not earning $500,000 a year, 1 million a year, people earning 10 million plus or deposits over 50 million pounds. Like, it was real, like, rich people. And I remember sitting down with them, and we used to do like sort of financial reviews, just to take a look at it. You see these people, and I'm telling you, clearing a month after tax, like 1.5 million quid a month into their accounts from their job. But at the end of the month, with no disposable income. because what they were doing is they would like. There's just one guy where he paid rent on an apartment in and around Hyde Park that was like 30. It was 30 grand a month plus bills. He would hire cars all the time, but he was also 30 grand a month on this apartment. But then it was like tens of thousands of pounds a month on hotels around England where he was meeting people, doing whatever it was he was doing. The money he would spend in bars and restaurants was astronomical. And the money he spent on clothing, like, you know, the guy, I remember once he said that he went to, what is them trainers that everybody wears? Begin with B.
Balenciaga.
Them bad boys. He bought like for
they look like, you know, them ones that have come up above your ankle. You know when you go surfing,
they're not even good. I don't even like how they look. I hear you, but yeah, they do. Yeah, like wetsuit boots. And he spent, I don't know how many pairs of trainers he got for this, but he spent 57 grand on items from that store, like in a single transaction. So my point is, though, he had all this money, right? But he had nothing left at the end of the month. And I asked, I used to be quite blunt, like, why? He went, as I've earned more and more and more, I just spend more and more and more. And it was crazy, but he's like, I've been earning like this since I was 21. This guy's dad was very well to do in the banking industry. He finished college in the States, moved to the UK, and went into a £1 million plus job a year instantly. He's always had money. So he's never learned to actually like control it. And I think footballers go through a very similar thing where they may come from poor upbringings, but they suddenly hit 16, 17. They're brilliantly talented and they start earning tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of pounds a year. Social media now throws more money at them. The fame is there and they don't learn how to control and spend it. And every now and then I'll have a period where I'm going to buy a new TV or I'm actually going to upgrade my car. But I'm the other way with money because of where I came from, in the sense of every month I have a good month. I store loads aside. It's like, well, if it all ends tomorrow, I'm comfortable for a bit, you know. That's how my mindset is. And yeah, it's crazy. But the leech thing, I completely and utterly get. I really, really do. And I think something needs to be done for them. And Liverpool have got to try and help this guy a lot more because. And maybe they are doing these things. I don't know what they're doing behind the scenes.
Yeah, but listen, he's an asset to that football club.
Of course. And I look at these interactions he's having online, and I just think to myself, come on, lad, don't damage. You're you're 18. I'm giving you leeway on things like this because I don't think what he's done in this circumstance is a cancelable action. It isn't. But it's one of a long line of things where I think Liverpool fans are just like, oh, please don't do any more.
Him again.
Yeah, because they don't want him to be damaged.
We had this with Wilshere, with taxi drivers and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, we had it with Bentner with taxi drivers as well. Where's it with Arsenal and taxi drivers? Yeah, I don't really know. Yeah, but we've had this with players. We had it back in the day with Paul Merson. We had it with Tony Adams. You know, and now, like back then, if you got caught. Yeah, it was a lot more difficult to get caught. Yeah, now everyone's got a camera phone. Everyone's got social media. That didn't exist back when Merson and Adams were playing.
Mate, I agree. A comment here from Zed says, and your point, Terry, some earn cash and others get into debt. You either can handle money or you can't, and learn the hard way.
Maybe society should and schools and higher education should teach people how to handle money.
But this is exactly
they don't want you to handle money because it's for an elitist group.
Well, this is one of the things we used to do when I worked in banking. There were just money skill schools. We did a lot of work with the football clubs. To be fair, we went into the football club and tried to help. And maddest things. I'll give you an example here. So Zed, this is the point I'm making. Footballers would leave football. They don't know how to pay council tax bills. I would get phone calls from dozens of football players a month saying, Terry, got to pay a council tax bill. I don't know how to do it. Terry, I've got to pay my TV license. These men, we still looked after their finances because they were banking with us. But the football club did everything for them. The football club wiped their nose, wiped their ass, tied their shoelaces from the age of football clubs they were at from the age of 16 until they retired at 36. So a 20-year period. And then they're cut off from that completely, and they have to stand on their own 2 feet. And the struggle for some of these footballers is astronomical because they've never been made to do it themselves or taught themselves. And the point we're making is all these things come from the same area, that if you've got leeches around you. I remember one of the lessons, I remember being at Wolverhampton Wanderers and speaking to the player liaison officer, and she said, we were doing a lot of work with these players at the minute because there's a group of women that are like targeting these football players, and what they are trying to do is there's only a small group of women in the local area that are trying to get with these footballers, essentially trying to get pregnant so that they live off the maintenance you pay, because it's big maintenance. If you're earning if you get 20% of a footballer's wages for 18 years, you are rich. So, and it was smart, and it was almost saying to these guys, listen, you can date who you want, you can see who you want, but be sensible, because the footballers weren't. They were suddenly like, they was rich. They were suddenly,
that actually makes so much sense
but
as
they
well.
suddenly
Yeah.
had, and again, listen, 99.9% of women weren't doing this, but there is a handful that were. And essentially the clubs looked at it like they were trying to scam you. These young lads suddenly had these very attractive women that were all over them. They thought, oh, they really like me. No, they're trying to get pregnant.
Trying to manipulate you.
Like, and it's just all these things going on, and clubs have to do more. The parents have to do more. The problem that you face is this, though. In my martial arts background, I was teaching at a kickboxing school. It was a full-time kickboxing school, 5-6 hours of training a day. And I spent a lot of time in the States. And what I loved in America was their student athlete program. So students would have to maintain certain levels of grades and or behaviors and behavioral things to be within the teams they were in. And we tried to implement that. And obviously we said we'd make concessions for people that had learning difficulties and things like this, but essentially maintain a certain level of grades and your behavior at school. So no getting suspended, if you're swearing at teacher, whatever, we'd kick you off the competitive team and maybe even out the club if it continued. What we wanted to try and do was get these kids that fell in love with martial arts to make it improve their behaviors and improve their education. The parents, the kids were kind of cool with it. It was the parents that said, no, what's it got to do with you? My kid's naughty at school. There's something to do with here. It's like, well, so we're trying to better your children. So the point is, if you turn around some of these parents now and say, we're going to defer the money, a lot of these parents want the money now as well. So they're not going to, do you get where I'm coming from? I've seen that in other walks of life. So more's got to be done to protect these players and help educate them. But
100%. Terry, I see it around here, right? Port of Banús, yeah. Well, I don't know if you've ever been there. It's nice to go for a day and have a couple of drinks and watch all the people with like yachts and all of that. It looks great, right? I know this for a fact, right? You get a group of lads come over on a stag do, and they go to a nightclub there, yeah, right? All of a sudden, like, they don't know what's going on, but all of a sudden you have got 10 out of 10s dripping off you left, right, and centre, and you're just some regular Joe from London or whatever with your mates, yeah. All of a sudden you get invited back. They're paying for the drinks, by the way. They're getting, the buckets with the ice and all the mixers and all of the bottles of Grey Goose. And all. Oh, yeah, we'll get that for you. So now you're thinking, wow, I've pulled a stunner here, mate. All of a sudden, yeah, you go back to this multi-million-pound gaff, yeah. You end up doing the business, yeah, and now it's €700 for the privilege. And if you don't pay, mate, you've got 8 guys waiting for you outside. That's what footballers are getting into on a different scale. They're going to nightclubs, and it's the same thing. You just ain't got the 8 geezers waiting.
So, bro, yeah. I was meant to go.
This happens everywhere because, like you said, most women, yeah, are not like that. 99.999999% of women are not like that. But there are women that will find somebody that's very rich. Yeah, in the limelight, and they will do that. Yeah, bro, I've seen it before. It's mad.
This is the craziest thing. I bet if you were to ask famous YouTubers, how much attention did you get from people before you were famous and after you were famous? Because if it was about your looks and about your personality,
because you're famous.
I'm not
at all. You want to get your hair done?
No, mate. Listen. It ain't that way. Just mad though, bro. I was meant to go Vegas just before, like the summer of 2020. And I was chatting to a friend of mine, put me in contact with a guy out there that basically can organize anything you want, like gets you. So you book in advance with him to go to the pool parties and excursions and whatever. Yeah. And I was chatting to him. He said, when you and your friends are at these pool parties, be careful. I was like, oh, what? He says, because what the hotels do, it's so smart. They will hire thousands of pounds a day some of the best looking women you have ever seen in your life. And what they do, they plant them in there. There's groups, and what you'll do, you'll be sitting in the pool with your friend having a drink, and then this girl that will come and sit, the lady will come and sit next to you and start chatting to you and whatever else. And then what they do, this is smart, they get the waiter to walk up at $35 for a vodka and Coke, £400 for a bottle or something. They walk over and say, would you like a drink, sir? Would you like a drink for the lady you're with? Most men are too embarrassed to be like, oh, this is so expensive, I can't say no. So they order the drinks. They keep doing it. So the hotel,
do that in Cancun as well, mate.
They do it in Mexico. They swipe you out of money, and obviously it's not. it isn't to the level that you mentioned. Obviously, they're there, but it's the concept is the same. It's they use something that they know men feel like they want to have. Listen, we've all know of guys that have gone to a strip bar and gone, oh, I think she loves me. No, she doesn't, bruv. Money, like, accept it for what it is. Like, I mean, my dad used to manage glamour models and strippers. That was what he kind of did. He used to sort of look after them and get them in the bookings. And I've met and spoke to many, and it's why when I grew up, I had the lads, oh boy, should we go Circus Tavern on a Saturday? I'm like, boys, it's just, for me, it was like a busman's holiday. I'm like, I don't want to do it. Like, that was my thing. But now these footballers have definitely got to do what they've got to do there. But viewers, make sure you're smashing that like button. We've got a QR code just below here if you want to join and become a member of the football Terrace. What's it say? Waffle? What's he say here? Waffle machine on full effect today. Brother,
you ain't seen Waffle yet, bruv. Don't worry. Yeah, there's Arsenal fans.
We're moving on.
So you'll see Waffle in about half an hour.
No, exactly. He hasn't arrived yet. So the young man that's meant to be coming on to debate us, he's got the link. He's liked. Get
him on, man. Get him on. Let's hear what he's got to say. I'm genuinely intrigued to see how he thinks Arsenal.
He's got the link. If he's watching, you've got the link, my friends, to tune in. But I wanted to move the conversation on a bit, and I wanted to ask you. You're heavily linked this week with Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford to Arsenal. The escape route is there. I've got to ask you, bruv. How excited are you about the prospect of one of the best inside forwards in the Premier League being rejuvenated at Arsenal?
Bye, Terry. One of the best young talent. Oh my day, you're a troll. You're actually a troll.
The irony in that, Lee, the irony in you calling me a troll.
Hey, listen, I back my stuff up every week. Back up that Rashford's one of the best young talents in the world. Or English talents. Tell me, why?
I test.
Bro, the guy ain't even got explosive pace anymore. He's useless. His passing and his decision-making is atrocious. The guy scored 5 goals all season. Last season, I think he scored 11 Premier League goals. But this guy's no better than Lacazette. He's no better than Lacazette. The only difference is he's 24. So he fits the Project Youth, plus the fact that he's a PR machine and Arsenal love PR. So I could see it happening. I genuinely could. I don't want him.
Why? But he's brilliant. Look at his goal. When he's on form. Listen,
keep him then?
Hang on. If Ten Hag wants to keep him, I'm a happy guy. I think Ten Hag, as an example, would be able to get the best out of him. If he starts to improve from the position that he's in again now, I'm a very happy guy. You won't see me complaining about that. I think he is supremely talented. I think he's brilliant, and I'd be gutted if he left to go to Arsenal. And again, like, a lot of Arsenal fans are saying no to him.
There's a hell of a lot, and there's some in this chat. Yeah, Arteta will improve him.
Exactly. Arteta will. That was going to be my point. I didn't even read them yet. Arteta, look at he's done to Saka. Look at Martinelli. Look at Odegaard. He could get Rashford.
Odegaard, he's got 5 goals in the season as a number 10.
Odegaard's been great. Odegaard's been brilliant.
These are the same fans, by the way, who said that Maddison's worse than Odegaard. Okay. Yeah, tell me how many goals Maddison scored in a worse team. Yeah, come on. At the end of the day, Arsenal fans do this all the time, Terry, right? Which is why we've got a guy coming on to explain how Chelsea are worse than Arsenal, because they just love to make out this club's amazing, the manager's amazing, all the players are amazing, and everything's working against us. There's conspiracy theories left, right, and centre. Maybe we're just not that good, people. Maybe Marcus Rashford is just not that good. But as soon as he's linked to Arsenal, oh my God, no, he's now suddenly one of the best young talents in the world. Oh, Arsenal fans will lap it up. Because that's what they do. They're starving for success. So any little win over Man United, we nicked one of your players. Yeah, guess what? The last 3 we nicked off of you were Mkhitaryan, Welbeck, and Silvestre. No thanks. Yeah, how about let's go and find someone else, yeah?
I understand that.
Look how calm I was until you started talking about Arsenal, by the way.
I know. It's amazing. But look, I think that you're being a little bit disingenuous with Rashford. I think he's very, very talented. I think he could do I personally think he could do very, very well at Arsenal. I really, really do. I think he's a kind of player that you almost need. I think talent-wise, he's
Where do you think he's going to play, Terry? Up front or left wing?
Do you know what it is? I think he can play a combination of the two. He just needs. The one thing about
Okay,
Rashford.
so if he's going to play up front, let's assume he plays up front. Yeah. What's his hold-up play like? Oh yeah, crap. What's his passing like? Oh yeah, crap.
He's passing on crap. So let me just get to that point. So for me, I think that if you're going to be using him in a more central role, he can't be doing what Lacazette. That isn't his game. I think the idea will be Martinelli to move more central, and Marcus Rashford to occupy that left-hand side. On the left-hand side, in a team that's got cohesion, with a manager that understands what he's doing, with the right kind of coaching, Marcus Rashford...
He better not come to Arsenal if he's got a manager that understands. Wants a manager that understands what he's doing.
But I schooled you last week, mate, on
what do you mean you schooled me last week, Terry,
I put you in a split.
You didn't school no one last week, yeah? All you did was sit there, yeah, basically being a top gooner for the day. Yeah, picking up everything. I said this to you before. Why is it? So this Marcus Rashford story, yeah, every single big account in the Arsenal sphere on social media, if Marcus Rashford signs for Arsenal, not one of the biggest accounts will say it's a rubbish sign and don't want him, this and that. Why? Because they'll get more traction by like bigging it up. Yeah, these people don't give their actual opinions, Terry. Yeah, they just go with the flow. And that's what you did last week. You went with the flow, right? And I'm not going to go back down that route because I schooled you anyway. The aim of Elite Sports to win the major honours, and we've won none this season.
There's no point putting yourself back in the firing line to get hurt, is there, Lee?
Oh, well, listen, when this guy comes on, I'm in the firing line because he's going to tell me why Chelsea are better than Arsenal. Well, I'm sorry, not better than Arsenal. Arsenal are better than Chelsea. See, I'm so confused by it also. I can't get the words out.
No, like, as I say, for me, listen, I understand what you're saying about the Rashford thing. I look at it this way. I'm being consistent with my Rashford opinion. I think he's very talented.
You have always said that.
I have. And I've also always said that I think the reason that the likes of him and Martial and Donny and Pogba and whoever else haven't either found consistency, progressed as much as we thought, or they've dipped off, is because of the lack of plan and standards at the club. And I do believe that you yourselves have moved forward. We'll get onto later. I think that some Arsenal fans are taking it too far. But I would be very, very scared of... Arsenal with Marcus Rashford. I'd be very, very worried about Arteta looking after Marcus Rashford, because I think he's one of those he is one of those that will leave, and you guys in 6, 9, 18 months will be bantering us for letting him go. The same way you did with Lukaku.
We did Welbeck when he scored against you at Old Trafford and did absolutely nothing else in his Arsenal career.
Marcus Rashford is superior to Danny Welbeck. He is a much better talent than Danny Welbeck, in my opinion, and he always has been. But based on just everything, he's output ratios, he's eye test, the level of games he scored in, his big game performances as well. Against
the guy got superly hyped up after scoring against us under Louis van Gaal, right? And then he's had moments. He's a moments footballer. PSG penalty, yeah, scoring against Liverpool, like little things like this, yeah. He's scored 11 goals last season in the league. Well, sorry, that ain't good enough. Right, he scored 4 goals in the league this season. Sorry, that ain't good enough. Yeah, he's had a season where I think he scored 17 goals in the league, which is probably one better than Lacazette's ever done. Sorry, not good enough.
And I understand that challenge. The point I'm making is that I know there's players in this Man United squad that have also underperformed on outputs or consistency that you rate. Paul Pogba's, Anthony Martial's as footballers, the reason that they have regressed is the same reason that Rashford has. And this is my
levels clear of Rashford. He ain't even got explosive pace anymore, Terry.
So they're technically clear. Therefore, it should be even easier for them to perform, and they haven't. It's been about the same level.
Can I just say as well? You're talking about Paul Pogba. He's going to be at Real Madrid, mate, real soon, right? Marcus Rashford's going to Arsenal.
Well, no, but Marcus Rashford has been. There's 3 clubs that are talking to Marcus Rashford's agents, and it's Arsenal, PSG, and Barcelona.
Yeah, he ain't going to Barcelona because Xavi will want a technically gifted footballer, which he ain't.
Well, right? Xavi just signed Traore.
Yeah, who by the way is getting a tune out of. So maybe he could go to Barcelona.
I'm telling you now, Marcus Rashford. Part of the reason I want him to leave, this is a selfish reason, and go to one of these other big clubs, is because everyone will see how talented he is once he's away from.
Can you imagine Marcus Rashford at PSG? They're booing Messi, for God's sake.
Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, come on.
Marcus Rashford in France.
He'll be putting out PR tweets every weekend.
He'll score 20+ league goals.
The only reason Marcus Rashford's been rated in the last 3 seasons is because he feeds kids. That's it.
No, it's
His
because
footballing, his
no, it's
football
not that.
on the
It's not
pitch,
that
he has
at all.
been rubbish for 3 seasons.
That's
Let's just be real
nonsense.
with
That's
it.
absolute nonsense.
He's been rubbish for 3 seasons.
He's a left inside forward, and for the last 2 up until this season, we know he's been bad this year. Totally admit that.
And last year, and
The
most of
previous
the year
2
before.
seasons, well over 20 goal contributions each year, many match-winning performances. In that time, he's become the most deadly player off the bench in Manchester United's history. And as I've mentioned, he's just check
So
how
he's a
many
bench
goals.
player.
I'm listing a number of things that he has done. Look at his goal scoring ratio and game impact in big matches as well. Something that we like. We look at certain players and bemoan their lack of big game
So
delivery.
why are United fighting so desperately to keep this super young talent that's breaking all sorts of records off the bench and is such a good inside left forward that his goal output's amazing, his GA is insane. Why would you not want to keep that guy?
Well, Man United are offering him a new £240,000 a week contract, so they are.
240. My God, football's clapped.
But the point is that the club, Man United, are trying to keep him. It's Marcus Rashford that's thinking about leaving, and clubs are coming.
And why is he trying to leave, Terry? Give me the real reason. What, in your opinion, what you think?
I'll tell you the real reason I think he's trying to leave. I think there's a number of things here. Firstly, I think he has an issue, like a lot of our players, with. I think the overarching word for this is like player power in many regards. I think he, along with every other player in the last 8-9 years, their standards have dropped because the club standards are absolutely in.
So then he's going to come to a club whose standards are just as bad.
well, again, I think Arteta has raised them.
Your standards are worse than ours because you're a bigger football club than ours. Yeah.
So I understand. I understand. But let me finish the point. I think Rashford's nose has been put out of joint because he's been put onto the bench. I also partly want him to leave as well. So there's loads of trains of thought I have here. I think he has this feeling that he'll just leave, go somewhere else, and life's going to be easy. I need him to realize that he's much better than that. He's highly talented. And I want Man United to keep him. I want us to bring a manager in that wants him. I want him to get back to his very best because he will deliver, because he has delivered for us before. I know he's someone that a lot of United fans, a percentage of United fans, don't like and don't rate. I'm not going to yield on that. I've said he should be dropped. I've said that if his form doesn't improve, I can understand the club wanting to get rid of him or a new manager not wanting him because I care about my club more than the player. But if he goes to Arsenal under Mikel Arteta with the progression that you've all shown, that would really worry me.
You're a troll. Look at you just dropping the progression that you've shown. Terry, we're sat 4th in the table, mate. Yeah,
that's our progression,
is it? We've gone back to the level. I said this last week. We've gone back to a level we were 6 seasons ago when I was protesting to get Wenger out because that weren't acceptable. That shows how far this club has dropped in 6 seasons. Yeah, that we're now saying that's now acceptable. Right. The fact is, Marcus Rashford is more interested in becoming a politician than he is with his footballing career. Don't want him. Not good enough. Won't take my club to the level it should be at. No, and he ain't worth 240. Apparently, he's already on 240.
I mean, the reports vary. I think it's 200 plus bonuses, and they're looking to increase. Sorry, I was reading this here. I've seen someone's we've been talking. Been 3 different DMs. All 3 show different amounts that he's been offered, but it ranges between 240 and £300,000 a week is what they're claiming that Man United are offering to keep him. But there we go. Look, viewers, I want your thoughts on this. Marcus Rashford to Arsenal. Would Rashford improve Arsenal? Could Mikel Arteta do his magic with him that he's doing with the other young players at the club? Could that be done? Make sure
you need to get on Sky Sports, man. You need to be on Sky Sports transfer shows like with Sky Cava.
I'd kill it, bro. I'd kill it.
You would.
What did he say? You literally. Okay. Let's go to some of the super chats that have come through. The young man.
I'm going to go toilet quickly.
No worries. JJ's with us, who is the guy that's coming on to speak. He's backstage. We'll bring him on in a few moments' time. We are asking a question today. Are Arsenal actually better than Chelsea? We're going to bring the context of that later on in the show, but we need that like button to be hit, people. Rashford is toxic, is what's being said here. Rashford is the missing piece, is what's been said. Listen, everyone's got a different take. Someone here says Rashford is finished. It's an interesting one. Who is better, Saka or Rashford? This is an interesting quick take. We'll get onto that as well. Nabil here, one of our members, says, Arsenal fans, please take Rashford and Maguire as well. So a varied mix there. Terry does like to ride the wave with certain topics. Not really, bro. That's just a very weak answer that's a very weak argument to you not agreeing with an opinion that I've got. It's not about riding the waves. It's about me thinking what I feel. And the irony in it is I never conform. Sometimes I agree with the opinion that the conformity has gone with, but I don't conform at all. Let's do some of these super chats here. Grey Wolf Dinner says, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea are clear of every other team in this league. Next season is the real test. Next season is the real test if they are serious or one season wonders. Chike here says, Terry, if City win the league, then you'll have to wear a City jersey, sing the theme as they sing in the Etihad, and I'm testing Lee, Kenny, and Jez this summer, and you have to take it along with them and put your camera on. Cool. I don't mind taking bets, but you did this last time, my bro. What if they don't win it? What are you doing? You need to offer something in return for a bet, brother. Any updates on the Chelsea takeover? No, nothing as of now. There's no updates as it stands right now with that. They will be presenting their preferred new owner the week commencing the 18th of April to the UK government for sign-off. What I did read today, though, is that there is a potential that if somebody else random comes in now with a big bid, they can still be new names can still be added to the shortlist. So there we go. Lee, we got the wrong manager. Conte said all the games for them are finals now. That's what elite mentality looks like. And our incompetent manager saying the same thing. What a loser he is, not reaching any real final.
I'm kind of confused. I can't lie.
I think he's I don't know if he's being sarcastic or not. I think he's kind of saying that Conte said the same thing about every game's a final as well.
Conte is, I'm echoing.
Are you? Not my end, you're not.
Conte, I'm not echoing now. Come back to me when Mikel Arteta's got the trophy haul that Antonio Conte's got. Simple as that, innit? Yeah, it's like when you say, like when people say, yeah, but who could do a better job than Arteta? And then you name Ancelotti. Oh, yeah, but look at what he did at Everton. Yeah, man's about to win a league title, mate. Yeah. Oh, okay, Simeone. Nah, he's finished. Well, he won the title last season. Yeah, Conte's finished. Nah, he ain't, mate, because he won the Inter last season. Then you say Brendan Rodgers. Oh, but he's finished. Yeah, but he won the FA Cup last season. Every manager you put forward to these Arteta fans is worse than Arteta. So, cool. No drama, no problema, mate.
Nima here says, hi, Terry. With your knowledge and experience, have you thought about doing the MMA Terrace? Time really is the only reason, because we cover all of the top six. It's very difficult, but maybe in the future. Bloody hope not. Rashford would suit Arteta's team. Don't let anyone fall for you. Rashford is very good. Losing form does not make him bad, is what Ray has got. Ray's football knowledge is impeccable knowledge there, Ray. I agree with you completely. So we're gonna bring JJ on, people, to have his say with us now. Hi JJ, how are you?
My mic's working?
Perfect.
Put your camera on, bro. Come on, let's see your face, my guy.
No, bro, my Mac is way too old. It can't
bro, if your camera works, let's stop blagging it. Your camera works.
No, I promise.
Are you shy, bro? I'm sure you've got a pretty face. Put your camera on. Why are you Arteta fans always hiding?
No, chill. Okay, you're good, guys. First of all, let's start nice here.
Yeah,
I want to see who I'm talking to. Come on.
Yes. The thing is, like, Lee, I'm not. You're probably expecting me to be this like super Arteta in guy, PR puppet. Arteta's my religion, everything, right? That's what you're expecting.
Listen, I don't expect nothing, mate. I can't be disappointed then.
Nah, but listen, the thing is, like, some of your points I even agree with. Like, your
username is Arteta is my religion, though.
Yeah, I know, but that's the point. I was just trying.
Put your camera on, man. Stop hiding. Put the camera on.
It doesn't work, I promise.
Okay, JJ, let's bring this round. So this is what was tweeted out by yourself. So you kind of tweeted this out saying why the table doesn't tell the full story this season. You've said that points per game in the Premier League after the first three games show. Essentially, you've shown it here that Arsenal are ahead of Chelsea in that time period. Yeah. For me, reading that just as a neutral to the situation between you and Chelsea, kind of reads like you're saying, actually, since that point, we are better than Chelsea Football Club in the league. Explain that to us, please.
Yeah, but it's like, I look at it in some ways, because I'm not one of these guys that when I see everything has to be good or everything has to be bad, So, for example, Lee, your point about Özil, I can't stand the guy. Like, we agree on that. The guy is my most hated player for Arsenal because
Who?
I look at his Özil.
Oh, okay. Why are we talking about Ozil? I'm confused, bro.
No, I'm just trying to understand where I'm coming from. Like, when I see something good about the club, I will speak on it. And when I see something bad, I will also speak on it. I'm not just saying things to suit the agenda or get the popular opinion out. Okay, so that's where we stand right now. So let's talk about the tweet, okay? So first of all, I know it's massively flawed in the way that if you wanted to take the context to make a complete table, you can't include the points for the other top 5 teams. The point wasn't made to prove that Arsenal is like the third best club of the like total, because I don't even think Arsenal will finish above Chelsea. That's not my point. My only point with the tweet was to point out the fact that over the games, the core of our team has played. Like the players Arteta feel he trusts to play for us. Over those games, that doesn't reflect the table because the first three games, we had 7 players. Can you
name the 7 players? Because I was back.
Yes, okay.
7. Name the 7 starting 11 first team players.
Okay. So basically, we all define squads differently. I define squad by the depth of the player the manager trusts.
You said seven in the tweet.
Yes.
You said 7 first team players. When you say first team, does that include Mohamed El Neni? Because he's not first team, he's bench. So when you're saying first team, to me, first team means 7 starting 11 players. So can you name the 7?
Okay, but it differs. It's 8 total, but 7 for each game. Okay, so we start with the first game. I'm just gonna go to the first game season.
Well,
so if we,
bro, I can get it. I can do it for you because I've already got it up.
Yeah, okay, get it up.
Bernd Leno was a starting 11 first team goalkeeper until the 4th game. Yeah, so you can't include Ramsdale. Yeah,
but my point is
right back that day against Brentford. Yeah, Hector Bellerin was still on the books, and we hadn't signed Tomiyasu. So Callum Chambers or Bellerin, Bellerin was on the bench, so that's now not another one. Ben White was playing. Pablo Marie was playing because Gabriel was injured. So that's 1 starting 11 first team player that was out, and that's Gabriel. Kieran Tierney played his starting 11. Thomas Partey didn't play, so that's now 2. Granit Xhaka played. Gabriel Martinelli is a starting 11 first team player. So is Smith Rowe. Nicola Pepe played instead of Saka. So that's now 3 starting 11 players that are not playing. And then up front was Balogun, right? So we actually only had 4 starting 11 players not playing that day.
But so that's the thing I don't agree with. That's the thing I don't agree with, because I feel like, first of all, we're judging our new squad because we basically have a new squad.
Yeah, but on the Brentford game, the first day of the season, we didn't have a new squad because the window was still open.
Exactly, but that's the point I'm trying to.
We had 4 players that weren't playing that day.
Sorry.
But that's the point I'm trying to make.
What is your point? What is the point?
My point is that when you judge our season and when the rivals talk about how good we are today, not at start of the season when we didn't have the 4 players we brought in since then. When you start to talk about today, it's hard to judge our squad in comparison to where we are in the table because of the fact that those 3 games we just didn't have.
JJ, can I ask you a couple of questions real quick, mate? Because I'm confused, my friend, right? Yeah. First and foremost, how many games is the Premier League season over? Is it 35 or 38?
Yeah, 38, of course, I know.
Perfect.
And the thing
secondly, right? We're now 28 games into a Premier League season. From what your tweet said, it's actually only 25 because the first 3 don't count. Yeah. Plus, we had the whole of last season and most of the season before because he took the job in November, December, so half of the season before. So he's had nearly 2.5 full seasons. When is the right time to judge this manager, my friend?
No, but Lee, you don't understand me. I'm not an Arteta fan. No, I'm not an Arteta fan.
It's your religion. It's your name, mate.
No, it's a joke. It's a joke. That's the point.
So if you're not an Arteta, so again, let's just bring this back then. So if you're not an Arteta fan, what is the point of? Again, I'll speak on this for a minute.
Yeah, sure.
I see this. Listen, I'm someone that's praised Arsenal's progression this year. I think you have got better over the course of the season. There is no doubt about that. I feel that I've seen it. But I see this from Arsenal fans on such a regular basis. Oh, if you exclude these games because we had players missing, if you exclude these games because there was no fans. If you do X, Y, or Z, we're actually third in the league, or we're second in the league, or we're wherever.
Yeah.
The problem is with these kind of tables is what you then discount for the games from game week 4 till now is what about the injuries, the COVID cases, the problems that all the other teams in the league faced in that period of time that you're now discounting to kind of elevate further where Arsenal.
Furthermore, Chelsea have played more Big Six teams this season at this point of the season than Arsenal have. Furthermore, they've also been in a Club World Cup. They've also been in a Super Cup, and they've been in the Champions League. They're still in the FA Cup, and they were in the League Cup. Arsenal have had one game a season all season, so the point's flawed anyway, right? Not only that, how old are you, mate?
20 minutes.
There you go.
Yeah, but I can't. It's not my fault I'm 20. Like, I can't do anything.
I know it's not your fault. 20. Of course it's not. Come on, mate. I'm not saying it's not your fault. I'm not saying it's your fault.
I think I said this about your point, JJ.
What I'm saying is that so you've never seen Arsenal actually win a league title.
I was
mad.
free.
Okay,
maybe my dad put me in front of it just to watch the celebrations. That invincible. Stuck in the back of my mind, you know.
My point is, there are millions and millions and millions of Arsenal fans on social media that post out tweets like you've posted out. Yeah. If I asked you a question about 1989 season, you know we won the league that season, yeah?
Yeah.
Real quick, don't Google it. Yeah, quick. Who was Arsenal's top goal scorer that season?
Like, I don't know that. You're right.
You.
You probably
no.
I admit you.
Sorry, mate.
No, but you probably know more historical facts about Arsenal.
Yeah, because I actually take the time to learn that, and I knew that when I was a kid. I knew that when I was a teenager. I knew that when I was an adult, because I actually take the time to find out more about Arsenal each and every day, which is why I have the likes of Kenny, Ken, and Jez on my channel, because they educate me as well as the people that watch me. And then people, not saying you, but people of your age bracket that have never seen Arsenal achieve anything of any note, then tell me I'm negative and I'm toxic because I hold the club to a title-winning standard and that I want the best for my club. I don't sit there putting tweets out. Firstly, because I'm suspended off Twitter, and secondly, because Arsenal are currently fourth in the table. Yeah, I don't need to do XT, XG, XA, expected this, expected that. The fact and reality is Arsenal are not that great, and we can make up any excuse about the first 3 games of the season as you want. They still count.
I look at it from this point of view. I remember there was a table that was sent to me last year by George, who's an Arsenal fan, often appears on She Knows Arsenal with Jess, and he kind of put this table out. And if I get this slightly wrong, I apologize to him, but it was almost, if you look at Arsenal's games last season, when they had their strongest 11, in those games, on those match weeks, they earned more points than any other team in the league. But the point is that those kind of, I understand that people like using data points, and some data points make sense. So if it's Arsenal versus West Ham United at home, you'd look at Arsenal's home record and you look at West Ham's away record as a data point to help formulate an opinion on who's going to win. The problem you've got when you start manipulating brand new league tables, i.e. when we have our full squad versus when we have our weaker squad, unless you're doing that same level of analysis for every single team, it's completely flawed. And football's never worked. This is the crazy thing I say about modern day football fans is we create all these weird leagues that don't really exist. I remember it was done a few years ago, and I don't remember which team it was.
Blame Sky Sports, BT Sport, ESPN. Blame all the fans that jump on board every day. Every match day is a maths test, Terry.
There was a league table. There was a league table created that said I think it might have been Liverpool. If Liverpool's goals that hit the posts and crossbars had gone in, and not obviously missed because they hit the post or crossbars, Liverpool would be 2 places higher in the league. And I just thought to myself, but then what about the teams? What if the goalies didn't save? What if goalkeepers saved 50% less of the shots that Man United made that season? Or what if Man United shots that went wide were 2 inches the other way and went in? Like, these kind of data points are a mental illness in some respects for me, because they're not reality. It isn't reality in any way, shape, or form. Arsenal have improved, there's no doubt. Looking at Arsenal's points per game improvement throughout the course of the season is fair to look at the improvements you've made, but you can't compare it to Chelsea, who, by the way, have played 15 more games than you across.
Yeah, but I was going to get into that.
And on top of that, JJ, there's more games than you. As I'm seeing this come out now, I saw this in a lot of the replies to your tweet and the one we put out today, when people were saying it was easier for Arsenal because you've practically had 1 game a week. Now I'm seeing Gooners who all year said The reason I think we can make the top 4 is because we've got 1 game a week. And now saying, don't discredit Arsenal for only having 1 game per week. But you said it was easier because you had 1 game per week. Then when people said it's easier because you got 1 game per week, you want to be praised like you had 2, 3. I don't understand. I don't understand the logic, my guy.
Yeah, but you can ask, that's their opinion. But for me, this 1 game a week thing, for me, just is not relevant at all. Because if you look at our squad, the amount of player we use, that Arteta trusts to put in the 11 for every Premier League game, it evens it out. Because Chelsea, let's say, take Chelsea for example, they have like 18 players that Tuchel trusts that he can put in the Premier League 11. Therefore, if you look at their form this season, their bad periods haven't come as a result, like the midweek games. The midweek games between other games, that's not the games they have struggled in. They struggled the most during that period.
Can I just stop you? Chelsea haven't struggled at all, mate. They've won a Club World Cup, a Super Cup. They're in the Champions League quarter.
Talking about
the FA Cup semi. And they've not had their first left-back playing most of the season. Reece James, their best right-back's not played all season. They've had players out injured left, right and centre. They've been playing 2-3 games a week. And you've just made a point a minute ago which totally killed your first point when you came on it. You said, look at the players Mikel Arteta has used and trusts. So your point about having 7 or 8 starting 11 players or first team players out is a complete irrelevance.
No, not at all.
Because Arteta trusts these players. Well, they're part of the 25-man squad, so it's irrelevant whether they're starters or not.
No, because we have 12. We can all agree. Like, we have our 11, and then it's personal choice if you want Martinelli or Emil Smith-Rowe off the left. Basically, no one can argue against any of the other.
Mate.
Yeah, I know, but the thing I'm trying to say, the drop-off between those starters and everyone else is so
you're saying
big.
the drop-off. You're saying the drop-off from Aubameyang to Martinelli is massive. Then is that what you're saying? Because that was who was playing at the start.
Aubameyang is not at.
No, but he was at the start of the season. In the first 3 games, he played all 3 of them.
I would definitely say the drop-off.
Actually, he played the other 2 against Chelsea and Man City. You're saying the drop-off to Martinelli is massive, then, yeah?
Martinelli doesn't play striker, but if you compare,
Aubameyang doesn't play striker. He played left forward.
No, he didn't. He never did. No, when not this season at all. He hasn't played a
game then, mate, because Aubameyang's played left forward most of the season.
This season, Aubameyang has either played in a 2 up top with Lacazette or as the main striker. And if you compare, for example, those 2, I would say just a massive drop-off in performance, especially in Arteta's control-based system. The drop-off between Lacazette to Aubameyang is massive. And why the form has picked off so much since.
The drop off from Aubameyang to Lacazette, you mean, yeah?
No, from Lacazette to Aubameyang because of the things he do.
So you're saying that Lacazette's a better player than Aubameyang, then, yeah?
Not necessarily better, but for sure, so much better in the system and much more valuable to the system. That's because the way we play.
1 open play goal all season.
No, but he's not valuable for his goals. That's not. Of course, I don't even.
No disrespect, but
I know. No. I don't rate him. I don't rate him at all. But I'm just saying that Aubameyang didn't score or do the other.
Aubameyang was our second top goal scorer, level with Saka, by the way, the day that he left this football club. Since he's left this football club, he's scored 9 goals in 11 appearances.
Yeah, but Lee, you know he did it. He wasn't good
20
enough.
goals this season.
Yeah, but you know he wasn't good enough.
1 from open play, mate.
Yes, and he's not good enough at goal scoring, and that's why I want him replaced in the summer, and why replacing him take us to a completely new level.
I think, do you know what I'd say, JJ? Do you know what I'd say to this, right? I feel like, again, I put tweets out there because I am poking bears at times, and I've seen this. Like, I asked the young lad Tyler that does all them for us, like, see a hot take, put it out there. I want to see what people have got to say. The way your tweet reads is very much, well, actually, since this point, we're better than Chelsea. That's how it reads. It may not be what your intention was, but I feel like you put it out there for that reason, a little bit to maybe like sort of trigger the Chelsea fans a little bit and whatever else. In terms of you versus Chelsea, how far behind Chelsea do you really think you are? And I asked that question. You're breathing into the mic a little bit heavy, mate. If you could just be a bit where.
Oh, sorry.
Like, how far behind them do you think you are? And I say that because quite a few people that have responded to my tweet and your tweet about this have sort of said, well, we're only sort of 4 or 5 points behind. We're not that far away from them, our trajectory, etc. How far behind Chelsea on a league level do you really think you are?
Yeah, to answer that, we have to talk about, there's a massive flaw with the tweet and that I didn't think of before I posted it. And that's that when you compare the games, you can't just take out the other team's points and not ours. you need to take out all the points or none of
Which
the
is
points,
why it's
basically.
a 38 game, not 30
Yeah, exactly.
season.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I mean. But apart from that, that's not the thing I'm trying to judge. I'm trying to judge this group of players, how they have performed when they are together on the pitch. And that's also a good
You're saying,
indicator.
no, sorry, let me cut you off here, mate, because you're contradicting yourself so many times here, right? You're saying that when Mikel Arteta has his best first 11 available.
Yes, exactly. No, this.
No, that's what you just
the
said.
Current.
Yes.
The current starting 11, including those
what's
signings we haven't made.
11? Tell me the current.
Okay, so basically Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Ben White, Gabriel, who will be replaced, by the way, in summer. Then Kieran Tierney, Xhaka, Partey, Odegaard, Lacazette, Saka, and then you pick and choose.
Okay, so that's starting 11. You're saying that unless it's that starting 11, we cannot judge Mikel Arteta based on the results and performances because he hasn't got all of his starting 11. Mate, it's the only manager in world football that this can happen for, yeah? Furthermore, right, Chelsea have won more in 13, 14 months in Europe with Thomas Tuchel than Arsenal have won in their entire history in Europe. So you can sit there and say Chelsea this and Chelsea that, and we need to have our best 11 and we need to have our starting 11. Well, don't you think Chelsea need Chilwell and Reece James in their team then?
Yeah, of course they do.
Why are they still performing?
No, but it's easier to judge a team if they have.
I judge based on results because it's a results-based business, and Arsenal are currently sat fourth in the table because we're not that great, mate.
Yeah, but if you look apart from the 3 games that I'm excluding in the tweet, we have had like 3 games, I think, this season when we haven't had injuries in the side.
Every team gets injuries, mate.
Yeah, but
I know.
JJ, and I think that's the point here. And it's not even about you doing the data on other people. The things that I see, and this is what's crazy about this for me. Arsenal, me and Lee disagree on this, but Arsenal have improved. Arsenal are moving forward into a new trajectory. My point that I make to people is I see Arsenal fans in this circumstance removing normal things. Injuries are part and parcel of your season. As you know, refereeing decisions are part and parcel of football. All these things are normal and pretty much equal across the playing field. Removing them to elevate where you are it's an irrelevant.
That's exactly what Arsenal fans have done.
It's an irrelevance. It's nothing to do with it's one of these things. Like you don't turn around and go, this doesn't make sense to turn around and say, right, do you know what? If you remove right Khabib, and if you remove Nate Diaz, and if you remove I now forget his name because he beat him twice on the bounce. Who just Dustin Poirier? If you remove those two and their records from the UFC, Conor McGregor's never been beaten in the UFC. You can't do that because and that's kind of like my point, my bro. It's almost like
this is what Arsenal fans do, Terry.
And JJ, look, I respect you for coming on and you're safe. For me,
coming on, mate.
It's like a case of I see these weird data points being created for in this sport that have never existed in the history of this sport, and I don't really know what they. It's almost like saying this is how it reads to me. And if Man United fans do this, I'll call them out. If Chelsea fans do it, I'll call them out. It reads, if everything is perfect and everything goes 100% our way at all times, we're better than when it's not.
Yeah, well, that's what Arsenal fans have done since he's had the job, Terry. He needs 11 players that cost 50 million quid that are top quality players. We need the grass to be 4 millimeters long. We need it to be 15.5 degree temperature outside. We need to have 60,161 people in the ground. Yeah, and if we don't, oh, sorry, you can't judge Arteta. That is why, I cannot stand all of the people that sit there coming out with these things because they sit there and lower the standards. The standards for Arsenal should be with the 3rd biggest club in the country, compete for a title, not making out that Arteta, he's been hard done by. And if we get Champions League, then he can go and get his attack because he's fixed the defence. No, he ain't. It's conceded 8 less than last season. And we had Bellerin at right back. Leno in goal, the forgotten man, but now he's not the forgotten man because he had one half decent performance. Now it's, he should keep his spot. Everything gets moved along the way. It's only Arsenal and Man United that do this. And the reason for that is we have the 2 longest serving managers in Premier League. And since then, the majority of online fans has gone up. And the fact and reality is the majority of Arsenal's online fan base have never seen us actually win anything of any note. They've grown up in the last decade of Arsene Wenger lying through his teeth. And that has now lowered the standards so far that 4th is a trophy. I was protesting, I said this earlier in the show, I was protesting outside the ground multiple times to get Arsene Wenger out of this club. And this right now is Arsene Wenger's legacy. Fourth is now a trophy. I'm sorry, it ain't good enough. End of.
JJ,
But Lee,
comment.
sorry.
No,
But Lee,
go
the thing is, the thing you don't realize, I think, is I agree with you with like half the things you said there. Arsene Wenger, for me, like I appreciate him for the good things he done, but his form in Europe was unacceptable for us. Even in his prime, with the invincible squads and everything, it was unacceptable to go with those teams he had and not do more in Europe. So I'm not only talking positives and positives. And
No,
the thing I
tried
to
talking about your tweet, mate. Yeah, and then since you've
but going back to that, I explained in the follow-up that even we have had major injuries after those starting 3 games. That I would say when you compare the drop-off.
Chelsea have had Chilwell out all season.
Okay, but let me tell you this. Okay, what's the bigger drop-off? Chelsea going from Chilwell to Alonso, or Arsenal going from Partey to Sambi Lokonga?
Oh, your manager signed him. And apparently, he was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
He's not my man. He's not even my manager,
mate. And I do understand this, but this is where for football again. This kind of talk, and it is a social media thing, and I do feel a sense of responsibility for this. This ain't real football talk. We're getting to a level of if buts and maybes of this drop off and this team and my team. The level of excuses I now see from I gave you an example, and all fans do this, by the way. Because of the system ways that teams are run now, clubs can get 1 or 2 players out injured, and it's right, that's a good enough reason for us not to win. I grew up in an era, and I don't care if I sound like an old man shouting at a cloud. I grew up in an era where if you had like Man United fans, we lost out the league in 2010 to Chelsea by a point. The majority of that season, Vidic and Rio missed large parts with injuries. No Man United fan that I was with at the grounds or I was speaking to on social media, because it did exist then, was like, yeah, but it's okay because we had our main 2 centre-backs missing. We were pissed off and gutted, and we demanded the team the following year won the league. That's changed now. Like, the level of defending of our clubs has got to weird points for me. But JJ, listen, my guy, I really appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem at all,
Have a
mate.
nice day, both of you.
Cheers. You too as well, my guy. Thank you very, very much.
There's a comment in the chat from a guy called Dan Butterworth. He says, the only argument this guy has at the start of the season, everyone has a full strong squad. How far Arsenal or Chelsea? Truth is, a lot, because Chelsea have a bigger and better squad. Mate, when Chelsea played Man United and Liverpool, they had 7 Cobham graduates in their starting 11, mate. Yeah, on the starting 11 and bench. So when people say they've got a better squad, they've got a better squad because they've got a better academy.
Mate, I see these excuses all the time. This isn't exclusive to Arsenal. I see this right across the board. Yeah, but I know Chelsea are better than us, but it's only because they've got a better squad. Well, yeah, because they're better than you then. It's almost
exactly.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day,
we've outspent Chelsea.
Do you know why Usain Bolt would beat me in a race? Because he's faster than me.
Yeah, but Terry, if your legs were 4 inches longer,
yeah. If my mum had fucked a Jamaican man who was good at sprinting rather than my dad, maybe I'd be faster. But it isn't it. And I'm obviously using that as an example because that's where Usain Bolt's from. The point I'm giving is like, I'm not.
Terry, stop doing this to me, man. I've not got time for this anymore, man.
It's the truth. It's the truth. That's how bad. And the point is, that's a terrible. That would be for me to say. I'd be faster if my dad wasn't my dad and my dad was actually a good sprinter. But that's how these excuses sound to me. Arsenal would do a much better job if we had a squad like Chelsea's. Yeah, so you are admitting Chelsea are better then. Just admit they're better. It's just crazy for me. It's absolutely
and
crazy.
All the people that put Ian Wright was Arsenal's top scorer in '89, it weren't. It was Alan Smith, by the way. Yeah, it's basic Arsenal history.
No, it's true though. It's true, and this is the point I'm making. I think Arsenal have improved this year. And we've had the big debate about that last week. I honestly believe they've got better. But the levels that people are now taking it to. I saw a video. I can't share it because it shows football footage will get shut down, right? But I literally saw Yardy Jeans tell. There we go. Is Terry really half Jamaican? No. It was an example. It was a bad example to prove that these are bad examples being given. I saw a video get made, and again, I know people are just having fun of how you're going to win the Champions League next year. The problem is, if you like, this is how social media's gone mad. If you like comment on it with laughing emojis, it's like, why are you discrediting us? Brother, I thought it was a joke video. No, I'm serious. And then everyone likes to pretend. The Haaland news trending last week, okay? Legitimately, there are gooners. I got about 15 DMs. No, that we think we can get him. He's not interested in money. He's
wants
relationship
the
with
project.
Odegaard, the project, and it's like this is the one thing that stood out to me. I was like, oh my god, I had to calm myself down. I'm gonna do it now. You do realize that Man City's project is better than Arsenal's project right now. All clubs have a project. They all do.
No, but Arsenal fans seem to think we're the only ones, Terry, and everyone else is standing still waiting for us to catch him. Yeah, and at the end of the day, this is why when I do the Arsenal Muppet Socials video, it gets loads of traction because there's thousands upon thousands of people like this that put out these weird takes. The fact is, the aim of elite sport is to win the major honour, mate. It's end of.
Do you know what's funny? A lot of people here are saying, no, Terry, it was all jokes about Haaland and whatever. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, but Arsenal Football Club don't see it as jokes. Arsenal Football Club's social media team will be sitting there going, oh my God, they all think we're getting Haaland.
It's not even in that. It's when you laugh at the joke because it's a joke and then people get offended. It's almost like social media is complete. Do you know how weak fans have become? If you ask a question based on someone's opinion. So if you sit there and say, I think Mbappe is overrated, and I turn around and go, oh, guys, here's a clip. Do you think Mbappe is overrated? What do you agree with? How dare you ask that question, Terry? Why? Why is that a bad question? It's not. It's about football, mate. Like the weakness is crazy. I've got some more super chats here. I don't want to miss these. I want to go back and put these up. Look how this Arteta FC will contradict itself, is what Nabil says. Maria Williams in the house. Hope you're good, Maria Williams. Says it matters not. They are still going to finish above you. The Prem table at the end is what matters. The league table is the ultimate barometer. You know, because do you know what you could also do? This is why I would say to Arsenal fans, like, don't do it. Because all it would take is someone to spend a day in front of their computer looking at reasons and rationales as to why, yes, you might have finished 4th and Man United 5th, but based on these 3 or 4 or 5 data points, problems, media reports.
Since Christmas, Arsenal were 2nd in the league. How many times do we see that one, Terry?
But it can work the other way around, where someone can discredit your 4th place by creating all these data points that prove that Man United actually were better if it wasn't for all these circumstances.
I see somebody put in my chat the other day that all players in Europe that have played over 500 minutes, Eden Hazard's created the most chances per game, which is 3.4 per game, than any other player in Europe. Mate, Eden Hazard scored 5 goals for Real Madrid. Nobody cares.
No, I agree.
Come on.
You can't make this up when talking with Arsenal fans, is what's been said there. I can't remove 3 games from Chelsea's season when they had multiple key injuries out. And I mean, they'd still be in the title. Chelsea are actually in the title race still. They're still in the title race. If we all get to remove those 3, if Man United, we remove 3 bad results, we're top 4. Chelsea have had their worst injury crisis in the Premier League era. Look it up. The stat doesn't account for that either. Terry, I want to teach Lee on Arteta. Please send me the link. Listen, safe.
This guy's not even an Arsenal fan, and he trolls every single show I'm on. Bruv, you're a weirdo. Leave me alone. I need to get a restraining order on you, mate. Like, real talk. This guy is a weirdo.
You know, this is the guy that stalked me, that turned up outside my work.
Did he actually?
At Barclays. He sent me a picture. He was outside Barclays.
Bruv, the guy, mate, just block him. Yeah, get a restraining order. The guy's weird, mate. Real talk. The guy is weird.
Damn, Lee, let this young boy live. It's like watching prime Mike Tyson fight. Just a straight KO execution. Statistics can be deceiving and manipulated, is what M-Mag's got to say. Enigma says, Lee, why you bend so far for Chelsea?
Because Chelsea at everything, Arsenal smashed a beautiful stadium down without all of these moo-moos in our fan base even knowing about, mate. Yeah, that's what we were supposed to do. We were smashing a stadium down to be Chelsea, mate. That's why.
CFC played a game during December. Chelsea played a game during December every 2.4 days. No games postponed. 7 players out for COVID. 5 injuries at the same time. Still managed to win a trophy. Still in all active competitions, comfortably in 3rd. How are Arsenal even close? And mate, I completely agree. And I put the question out there earlier on today. One, yes, I do like to trigger a few people over very simple matters like football. But equally, I wanted to see how many Arsenal fans would defend it. And loads did. Loads did. We even did a poll the other day to Arsenal fans about signing Mbappe. Now, 79% said no chance. But 21%. Now, think about it. How many fans have Arsenal got worldwide? 20 million, 30 million, 50 million?
About 70, 80 mil.
So if you've got 80 million fans worldwide and 20% agree, it's not hard to do the maths on that. You're talking millions and millions of Arsenal fans. Kermit does realise Arsenal play one game. Kermit, he didn't sound like Kermit the Frog. Be nice, be kind. Edward here says, this gives me vibes of a father opening his belt buckle to punish his kids. Lee has more ball knowledge than most pundits. Nice to see an honest fan.
There you go. Thank you,
11th of August to present date. Tuchel lost 5 games. Problem solved.
There you go. And you've played more of the big 6 than we have.
Yeah, if the Glazers were Russian Americans, we Arsenal fans would have hopefully at the end of our culture. Arsenal, Man United is a social media effort, but this is it, isn't it? Like, but yeah, that's how we could manipulate.
Bro, people sit there on match day. People sit there on match days with a calculator, a ruler, a compass, yeah, and the spreadsheet open. I swear, football fans in this era are mad. They are mad, mate.
Well, do you know what's crazy about it? I was looking last year. I did a lot of stuff on Man United's trajectory and improvements of the Ollie points per game, win ratio, and stuff. But it focused purely on them. But still, within that talk, for people to go back and watch the videos, and they'll forget these bits when they're trying to banter. But I said this is all great, but what really matters is when it comes to those clutch games and what I call the gateway moments. So you've got a chance to go 3 points clear. You've got a chance to maintain the title race, semi-finals or finals. So, Ollie could have improved his win percentage to 99%. But if in each of those big games he fails, you're still failing at the end of it. And that's what's the key. It isn't just the win percentage. It's those big
29 games unbeaten away from home, mate, and won nothing. So it's irrelevant.
Exactly.
And you're just saying exactly. That proves my point from last week, where you've just closed your own argument from last week.
No.
Irrelevant runs of results that ultimately lead to nothing are irrelevant. Thank you very much, and good night for you.
So you've nearly done me there, but you haven't quite, because Ollie's book is closed. We know it led to nothing. But if Ollie had that run, if with Ollie, because he's gone. So if Ollie this season would have gone on to win something, and it was felt that all of that was...
Yeah, but if Arsenal didn't have them first 3 games of the season, Terry, we would have had a better points total, points per game than Chelsea, mate.
No, I understand that, but the point is about Arteta. Your point will come to fruition if in a year and a half he's sacked.
Oh, it already has. He's won 1 trophy out of 11 entered.
We don't know where it's going to end up. If next year you go on to another level, win a trophy, and it comes second to do well in the Champions League, you're in the mud.
Well, not really. I'll see you here in 12 months. Time,
yeah, we will be doing this. We'll still be here. We'll be having this route. We'll be having this route.
I really need to go, Tel. I really
all right, mate. No problem at all. Listen, viewers, everyone who's tuned in, I didn't check the private chat. Until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. Smash the QR code before you leave. We'll see you all soon.